What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Sowdev podcast. My name is Dev. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I appreciate you. You know we got some tea to get into. But before we get into this tea, make sure you go ahead and follow me at Sowdev on Twitter, Instagram, and literally everywhere else, child. Now, let's just get into it. It's 7/27, right? And this is the second season of Keeping Up with Fifth Harmony. Now, I'm laying down a lot of groundwork during this second season because I'm going to have 8 episodes per season, and each season will begin when 7/27 arrives. Obviously, podcast comes on Fridays. So with that being said, whatever Friday is coming before 7/27 is when you will receive the podcast. Now, I love that for us. And, I'm really structuring what I'm going to discuss in these podcasts because there are so many different things that I want to cover. And I really wanted to start from the beginning of everything with the very first season and just kind of, go with the flow and kind of figure it out along the way. Because it's one of those things where it's like, if you don't start it now, you're not going to do it. So here we are. We're doing it, bitch. So, as we come upon 7/27, this is going to be 12 years of Fifth Harmony. 12. They were formed July 27th, 2012. It's insane that it has been 12 years and the energy of Fifth Harmony still is like, it feels like it's alive. It feels like Fifth Harmony is kind of still around in the sense how people still talk about them, whether directly or indirectly. It's kind of like, wow, this group has some serious impact on pop culture. And I don't think people realize that because, when they look at Fifth Harmony, they try to fit them in the grand scheme of things when it comes to solo artists and things like that. But Fifth Harmony in itself, look at the girl group spectrum of things. They really took things a step further. And I just feel like Fifth Harmony does not get the dues that they deserve. And I obviously say it all of the time. But it's kind of like, it's like, what is one supposed to think? Because you see all of these girl groups trying to make it in the mainstream space, and it's very hard for them. And what Fifth Harmony has done, they want to do. All of them. All of the girl groups, even including Little Mix, they wanted to do what Fifth Harmony did in the biggest market in the world. It's what everybody wants to break. And again, they did that. And they did it well, and they did it consistently. That's not an easy feat. That's girl group history. And I don't want us to overlook that. Fifth Harmony is iconic. And I know people want to bring up the messy moments and blah, 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 blah. But, imagine if Fifth Harmony did have the proper backing, if they did have a team that cared, a label that cared, that wanted to invest in them as a group and as solo artists. I say this all the time, literally. Just imagine. You know what I mean? Because they were the underdogs to everybody. Nobody expected them to succeed from X Factor literally on. But yet they continuously did. Consistently. Crazy how they just always beat the odds. It doesn't matter. Lost the girl group, came back with your next single with your highest debuting sales ever. Getting the most VMA nominations you've had ever after you just lost a member, and historically girl groups lose sales, but your next single was your highest sales debut. I mean, you can't overlook things like that. So, as we really gear up to, 12 years of Fifth Harmony, and every time I say it, I can't process the idea that it has been 12 years of Fifth Harmony, but it really has. And, we're in a space right now where, the girls are all doing their own things. And I think that they spent a lot of this time finding their footing, finding their ground, what they want to do, and blah, 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 blah. And I think that they've come to a point now where they're really kind of walking in that path that they've kind of created for themselves. I mean, look at Dinah. She's really come full circle back to her culture, herself, outside of what the labels really wanted her to be. And, look at Normani really finding herself and her confidence and, recognizing her resilience. And Dopamine is a testament to that resilience. And, all of the girls each have their own little thing where they found their thing, they've overcome this thing, and it's taken them time to heal, essentially. That is the general consensus of what each girl has had to go through, essentially. They've had to find themselves. They weren't just going to come out of a group, drop an album, and know what their sound is going to be. I was just saying the other day, I think Normani genuinely knows what her sound is. In general, if you listen to the album, and she even says it herself, Wildside, it really just kind of clicked for me, and I think we all knew that. And I think that Dinah has also found her sound. I think she has a wide range of things that she can play with, but I do feel like Dinah, in fact, has found the area where I think she's going to be comfortable in. And I love that for her. I genuinely do. When I think about all the girls right now, I think about the interview that Normani just did recently, where Normani is like, this was the plan. And take a moment and think for a second. They tried out for X Factor as solo artists. Yeah, they came together as a group to make their dreams come true. And their dream was to be on their own as an artist. It doesn't mean, Fifth Harmony wasn't necessarily something that they couldn't have enjoyed. We know Fifth Harmony was also hell. Fifth Harmony is like a double-edged sword. It really kind of is. But, it's less of that now with space in between it. And I think that the girls having that space from the group and even from each other have allowed themselves to heal from a lot of things that they had experienced. So, I think we're seeing the girls kind of find their way back to each other in a very organic and natural way. It's not, we're going to plan this with our teams and get the girls together so that way we can have a reunion or something. It's really not that. It's given, we're experiencing life, real life experiences, and the girls are there supporting each other, being there for each other. Dinah with what's going on in her family, the girls reaching out to her. Normani and her album, the girls reaching out to her. I mean, you see Camila literally she liked Lauren's post, she liked Dinah's post, she liked Normani's post. I don't think she's had any direct interactions with Ali that we have seen anyway, but I do get the idea that they've had some sort of communication. And like I said, it's giving healing era. It genuinely is. And I think that is going to create the moment that everybody wants, rather than this structured, we want to get the girls back together, have this reunion and blah 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 blah. So that's how I'm seeing it. It's going to be a very organic coming back together whenever things do come back together. We're seeing it happen piece by piece, little by little. And my biggest thing about the girls supporting each other, I'm like, Camila, you are under these girls' posts, you are liking their posts, and you're not following them. How are you finding their content on Instagram? Because Instagram doesn't even show you the people that you fucking follow. So, how are you... How? Just follow them at this point now. It's ridiculous. But, I'm very ready to see my girlies get back together. And if I gotta be honest with you guys, let's just have the conversation very quickly, okay? Well, the girls are not exactly having inflated streams. And when I say inflated, I just mean high numbers in streams, higher numbers. We're not seeing that right now between any of them. And not Camila, not Normani, not Lauren, not Ali, not Dinah. That's just the T, right? They're pretty much all at a baseline of 100 to 200K. But the baseline, if the girls released a solo song right now in this moment, it would get that baseline of 100K to 200K streams. So it's just well, might as well dip and dive back into the little Fifth Harmony back. No, look, this is just me. You ain't gotta agree, ho. This is my podcast. No, but like, seriously, I would live if the girls, like, come on, realistically, hypothetical, right? If they came back together and let's just say they created an album together, right? They went into the studio together. They started from the ground up. They wrote. They put all of their things together. Because, side note, when you listen to their music individually, you see how all of their music overlaps. It's not exactly that different from Fifth Harmony, because Fifth Harmony, when you think about it, it is a big melting pot of girls who have different tastes in different areas, but those tastes overlap, and those overlapping, essentially, the overlaps, it's what Fifth Harmony music is, right? It's like, it's a compromise, essentially, where each girl has something that they like. And, you know, we've heard where they used to have voting and majority rules type system, and first of all, that is absolutely awful. That is an awful system. But like, that is what Fifth Harmony music is. It is a combination of all of their tastes together, and you hear it in Fifth Harmony's music, you hear it in their music, and again, you hear it out, you know, how it essentially overlaps. But, you know, I just get the feeling that if they were to go into the studio and create from the ground up, we would get some, like, very genuine music. I think we would get some fun music. I think we would get some real music. I think we would get music that we would connect to. So, you know what I mean? I would love that. And it doesn't even have to be that you start from the ground up, because you have several songs that essentially serve as demos now. They were recorded so long ago, those are demos. They can now go take those songs, reconstruct them, re-record them, and release them. I personally don't care if Fifth Harmony comes back and decides to go on a tour. I really don't. If they did, would love that. You know, I don't want it to be a Pussycat Dolls situation. You know, Nicole really wanted to try to get some ownership of the group, but I don't think that they were willing to let her have control over the group, so she was kind of just like, well, fuck it. And to a point, I do think that it was important for her to have some control over it, because I think if she would have had some control, she would have been able to do a lot more with the group and with those girls. So, I mean, I obviously don't want Fifth Harmony to be one of those things, but I feel like, you know, Fifth Harmony is working themselves individually to a point to where when they come back together, they'll have the power to actually be able to take Fifth Harmony in a different direction. Now, contractually, I don't know what's going on with Fifth Harmony Epic, because obviously they're not on the website anymore, and artists who are on the website are on the label, whether they've released in like 10 years or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, they are still on that website. So that is something very interesting to me, because that contract technically still, they're owed another album. So I don't see any reason why they could not, you know, do as I said, reconstruct the songs, re-record them, and then release that album. I'm sitting here thinking, like, obviously Fifth Harmony could do a greatest hits album if they wanted, for the sake of the label putting out a greatest hits album. It would literally need to be a 10-track album, and I honestly think that they could do it. But like, when you think of a greatest hits type album from Fifth Harmony, a lot of it, they're going to be kind of like deep cuts that only we really actually like. So, you know, because there are some songs that are cult classics for us where we go crazy during a concert, and that's a greatest hit to us, whereas a greatest hit to somebody else may be your biggest. And they do have a lot of those. I mean, when you think about it, what is it? We have Miss Moving On, we have Worth It, we have Sledgehammer, we have Boss, we have Work From Home, we have That's My Girl, we have All In My Head Flex, we have Down, we have He Like That. That's already 10 tracks as it is. So it's like, you realistically could do that, but it's not gonna be something like, when I think of greatest hits, like, I physically went into the store to go buy an album of greatest hits. So that's kind of interesting to me, because what's the point of a greatest hits album also on streaming services if I can just go find all of those songs on the album literally on the same streaming service? It's like all I gotta do is like swipe to the right and I'm right there to the album to go play the songs. So I mean, I see greatest hits albums a lot these days and it just doesn't make sense, but I guess it does in a sense for some labels who want to use it as this new item that kind of influences the mind to just go ahead and stream it because it's new. And, well, they get some money in their pocket off of that bitch. But anyway, I would definitely like to see Fifth Harmony do that, and that's honestly probably why they have not released, and I mean the label, why the label hasn't released the greatest hits or anything like that, because if contractually they still owe you an album, a greatest hits compared to them coming back to serve an album whatever which way, even if it is re-recordings and shit like that, well, it's probably going to be more beneficial for you to wait till they come back to the home base. And I gotta be honest, the way the solo careers are looking right now, and it's not even, yes, long careers ahead, but the way that things are going with them behind the scenes, it may be time to open that door again. I'm just saying. And none of the girls are obviously saying it's out of the question. I don't think that they're actively thinking about bringing Fifth Harmony back. But where they are right now, it may logically make sense for them to bring the group back and then to just have more control if they can fight and get that legally. Because who knows what the fuck. Well, I don't know what they gave up or what they compromised to go solo earlier, knowing they had a contract to fulfill. I don't know what that took. I don't know what came of that. I would like to know, but there's just no way for me to know. I wish I did. Like, it would definitely make things a lot more clear in regards to A, how they went solo, B, are we actually going to get another album from Fifth Harmony? I don't know, but I'm definitely willing to find the fuck out. I'm very serious. I think that they should consider that. And when you say, oh, I think that Fifth Harmony should, have a reunion, have an album, blah, 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 people think that, like, it means shut all solo operations down. No more solo shit. Fifth Harmony for the rest of your fucking lives. Nothing else. Like, no! That's not what the fuck I mean. I mean Fifth Harmony come back together, like, you know what I mean? Take some time, do this album, do their solo shit, go on about their fucking days. Like, it doesn't have to be something that's too complex or anything. It can genuinely... Hi. Sorry, guys. I was saying hi to my neighbor. She is the sweetest lady in the entire world. But, like, the Fifth Harmony reunion, it does not have to be anything that's just, like... It doesn't have to engulf their entire lives. Like, they're not going to be a Fifth Harmony until they're, like, 89. Like, be fucking for real. A nice, cute album of, unreleased songs re-recorded would be amazing. I would love that. So, fingers crossed to, hopefully seeing some of that. I would love to see, the girls just come back together even for a picture. It doesn't even have to be anything more than that for me at the moment. A picture alone would just do wonders. And, I think what I'm hoping to see out of the 727 day is to see the girls actually acknowledge the day. I want to see every last girl acknowledge 727, and I just, make the day special for the fans. I feel like the most minimal thing that you can do for the harmonizers is, well, literally just acknowledge the day. Acknowledge Fifth Harmony, and that's all. That is all you really have to do for harmonizers to be content. And I don't know if Tara still got the motherfucking password to that account, but I'm gonna need her to do forgot password or something. Log into that bitch. I'm begging. Log into that bitch. Somebody needs to go on the Fifth Harmony account because, look, the Japan version of Fifth Harmony is kicking their ass, to be honest with you. But we need to make sure guys, that we get inside that motherfucking account and tweet, I'm so serious, post on Instagram, post on Twitter. It's the most minimal type shit that you could do. I don't know who we got to speak to, but somebody message Tara and tell her. Because y'all know Fifth Harmony old management was just very... Social media manager kind of went crazy, but like management in itself, girl, that's a whole different thing. And they're very nasty for that. Anyway, I'm very excited about this Keeping Up with Fifth Harmony podcast in season 2 specifically, because I feel like season 2 I'm really going to focus in on a lot of things surrounding I'm gearing towards the split, but I think where I'm at right now as far as covering the journey of Fifth Harmony, having discussions with you guys, I think I'm really in that 2014-2015 transition phase. We obviously really talked about some current moments that we were seeing with Fifth Harmony on social media, and we also started with X Factor and blah blah blah, the beginning and their touring and stuff like that. But we're going to focus on a different direction in season 2, and each season is going to be a different direction. So I'm very excited about it. I appreciate you guys for listening to this podcast. You are iconic. Make sure you go ahead and follow me on all social media platforms at Sowdev on Twitter, Instagram, and literally everywhere else, especially YouTube. Go like and subscribe if you're listening over there. I love that for you. Thank you for streaming the Sowdev podcast, where you stay true and you stay you. And I just hope you guys have the best day. Drink some water. Please stay hydrated and eat some food. Take care of yourself. There's a lot going on in the world right now, okay? Put yourself first, because who the hell else will? All right, y'all. Now, I'm hopping off here, and I will see you on the next podcast. Especially Keeping Up with Fifth Harmony. See you next week. Peace.